What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. Today we're doing a video that I should have done a little while ago. Basically, IGN did a devs react to a speedrun that I did of a Valkyrie percent for God of War 2018. There were a few things that they were having questions about in there. There's a few comments, a couple things that just wanted to look over, kind of cover, answer some questions that they didn't have answers to. Yeah, figured it'd be kind of fun. The people that are doing it are the devs from God of War, Mihir Sheth, Denny, and Rob Meyer. So thank you to them for doing it, because it was really awesome to hear feedback on it. So yeah, we will get into it here. And I'll probably just skip forward to timestamps where they have questions. I'm not going to go over the entire thing. But yeah, anywhere that they have questions, we will cover that. So let's go. All right, so here we got the first question. This is dealing with the Niflheim Valkyrie. I'll let you hear what they said, and then I'll cover it real quick.
Starting with that good old Niflheim Valkyrie, Hildur. This is an interesting one to start with. I don't know about both of you, but I probably wouldn't have started with this one, so it's an interesting strategy going for this one first.
Maybe it's good to get the risky ones out of the way.
Okay, so the reason that you start with the Niflheim Valkyrie is because it's the only Valkyrie that does not have a very close teleporter. There's not one directly to the arena, and you have to do the run back if something gets messed up. So that is the reason that you start there. Any other Valkyrie, you would have to run across the bridge in the middle of a run, try to run through the maze. If you get killed by a trap, you're on an automatic restart. So that is the main reason that you start there. It's basically the only one that you can start with without taking a huge time loss and risking running through the maze. So that would be the answer to that. Okay, so here's the next topic. I'll let it play out for you here real quick, and we'll try to answer it to the best of my ability, because honestly I don't remember why all of them are this way. But
Smelly's down. Next is Bernie. I'm assuming Bernie is Gondel. All right, let's try to guess what these are. Bernie is Gondel. Speedy must be Olrun, the dashy one.
I mean, I know, but I'm curious to hear what your guesses are.
Jumpy is Jumpy is what's her name? I don't even remember.
They're doing good so far.
I don't know the real name.
It is Rhoda.
Valhalla's.
The Valhalla lady, yeah.
Yeah, it's Rhoda.
Rhoda, yeah. And then
we
I don't know what
some classic natural strike spam to get through the level faster.
Okay, so the rest of them goes. Katie is Gunner, because she's basically the first Valkyrie that you run into, and when you do run into her, she's basically a parrying tutorial. So we named her Katy Perry. A lot of this came from streams that I was doing at the time. Kara is just named Kara because couldn't think of a name. There was going to be something like Valkyrie Gangster, or I don't know, some weird shit like that. But couldn't think of something creative. Had to make the time slot up, so just went with that. Tanky is Air in the mountain because, well, she's tanky as shit and blocks a whole lot. Then you got Blindy, who is Gearful, and then Queen Asshat, of course, is Sigrun. So that's where we got with that. All right, next topic.
Plus, I think
this is not New Game Plus though.
Yeah, this is normal. Yeah, but this is well, it's gonna be God of War, but it's new game, not. But yeah, I think on New Game Plus she becomes one.
Okay, so saw this in the comments quite a few times. People talking about how it could go faster, why I'm not using the Zeus armor. This run is done on standard New Game. New Game Plus was not even out yet. This was under a year after release when it was done. So yeah, there's a lot of things that add up to why this run is done the way it's run. It's on standard New Game. It's done on Gimme God of War. There was no NG Plus, so nothing was there. And because you have to fight the Valkyries in this order, you cannot farm Muspelheim. Farming Niflheim doesn't do much good, because any upgrades for the gear that you are going to use, or for at least the decent ones, take Muspelheim upgrades. So you can't farm the trials. So everything is partially upgraded. I believe the waist is the only thing that's actually fully upgraded. The wrists are at level 2, and the chest, I believe, doesn't have any upgrades on it. But you do fight them in this order for that reason. Niflheim first because there's no teleporter close to it, so it has to be the first one. And then Muspelheim you go to second because that's where you can get the Blades of Chaos final upgrade. That final upgrade allows you to unlock stuff. Mostly the delayed stance R2. That's the biggest thing that you really need. So yeah, that's why they're done in that order. And that's the type of game. On to the next one. All right, next topic. See what they have to say, and then I'll cover it.
Yep.
Do you have
Round
any
one.
insight? Yeah, do you have any insight on why they're using these particular runics? Like Wrath of Artemis Blades Light and the Hyperion Grapple Blades Heavy.
Yeah, definitely. So I call it cross slash. I don't know. Wrath of Artemis, I guess, is the real name.
Yeah.
That one has a really low cooldown, so it's quite useful because of the low cooldown. And then the Hyperion Grapple,
That is correct.
think, is based on the cooldown. It's one of the highest single target DPS that you can do. You do need to aim it, so you don't get
Also
it for free.
correct.
It's the one where he throws both blades and zooms towards the target. But really, really strong, especially in the Valkyrie fights. The ones on the Act, I think we got the one of them I know is the Talon, the
Yeah,
vertical
Fiazi's
line.
Talon, and then Hell's Touch,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure is the light
Yep.
one.
So Hell's Touch
That
is
is
the
the
first
two.
runic you get in the game, and it's actually really funny because people think it's like, it's really fast and it's really weak, and it kind of in the beginning it's really more of an interrupt, but eventually
It is very
later
fast,
it
but
kind
it's
of
not weak.
becomes one of the highest like DPS runics in the game because
Yes,
of
it
how
does.
quick the cooldown is. So if you're on it and you're using it a lot, it's super.
Okay. Also, little caveat with that. Hell's Touch, not only does it get better once it's upgraded, and it has one of the lowest cooldowns in the game, along with Wrath of Artemis, another reason for using those two, mainly, is because you can put Boar's Frozen Shard. It's an enchantment that you can buy from Brock and Sindri. Boar's Frozen Shard goes on Hell's Touch and gives you a Blessing of Runic every time you use that. So if you notice, it's always used before other runic attacks, and that's to give a Blessing of Runic and basically give you more runic attack power. For Wrath of Artemis, there is an enchantment called Jarnsaxa's, and Jarnsaxa's plants a bomb on the Valkyrie every time you use Wrath of Artemis. So it's a little bit extra with it, plus having the extremely low cooldown. So yeah, that's more of a reason for it too. But we'll hear what the rest of that have to say.
Fast to come out, so it's very safe. It can interrupt enemies. It's just overall just a really good option. The Talon one is interesting. I'm actually curious about this because I typically don't see a lot of players use that runic in the Valkyrie fights. It's generally really good when you're fighting multiple enemies because it'll apply frost to them, will slow them down, and it'll lift them into the air so you can combo them. But obviously you can't launch the Valkyries to the air, so definitely an interesting choice there.
Okay, so the reason for Theotz's Talon is mostly because the cooldown is very short. That's a big reason for it, but the other reason for using Theotz's is because it has charge levels. You can do a single charge, double charge, triple charge. So depending on what the Valkyrie's doing, you can actually charge it up 3 times. It's not going to get you stuck in an animation, and that's a huge thing for runic attacks as well. Not being stuck in the animation is a big part. Big part. Because anything that sticks you in an animation, the Valkyries tend to get a lot of poise at the end. Their eyes start glowing. And when that happens, they can just bust right through your runic attacks. So there might be stronger ones, but if you're stuck, they kill you more often than not. So that's the reason for Theotz's. It's very fast, has charge levels, and you don't really get stuck in it because you can release it whenever you want. Okay, here's the next one, and we're coming up to getting the blades upgrades. And I believe they have a few things to say here, so we'll listen to it.
Store speedrun.
You gotta upgrade the blaze right there. Does that save time? I guess it must save time if you're doing it.
Okay, so Gondel gives you a Blades upgrade.
Yes. I guess so? I don't remember.
Yes, she does.
But that blaze upgrade only gave you some runic, so I'm not sure. I guess that makes
Oh, it unlocks some skill tree nodes, or does it? I can't remember.
It does.
I don't think the last upgrade unlocks skill tree nodes. It gives like stat boosts, Mihir? Remember?
Yeah, I think so.
Stat
I don't
blades
think it
are too.
actually,
The blades are too,
unlocks.
baby.
I trying to remember now. I think like up to level 4 on the weapons we unlock skill tree nodes.
All right, so here comes up a little bit more. This is mostly just for the switching of the talisman and the skill tree. So we'll listen to that real quick.
The Zeus armor, which allows you to really do like way more damage. You take more damage as well.
Yes,
but
they
it
did
kind of,
add
like,
the Zeus
changed
armor
the
after this,
runs.
and
But
God,
this is
it's
like
ridiculous.
I would call it like an OG run. This is like yeah, it's cool. It's cool seeing what they were thinking of at the time, and even early
Oh yeah,
here.
here we go.
Oh, the switch
There's
of
the talisman switch.
Yeah,
There's where I should have done the skill
you
tree.
switch to just evade Realm Shift, Cavassier.
Oh,
Now I am
And
switching
look at
Oh,
this.
counter
Look
pick.
at
Oh,
this.
to the
here's
skill
a
tree.
blade.
Oh, it
There's
is.
the Blades
Yeah.
R2.
No, so it was level 5 on the blades. Yeah.
Massive damage.
And that was the delay stance R2 like
So it's
multi stab.
PD overrun. Okay.
Right?
So I
Yeah.
guess
So this
That's
this
it.
is the key. Yeah, that's it. You need. That's why. This is why the Niflheim Valkyrie's done first, because you got to get the. Yeah, once you get the upgrade, now you can do the delay R2. Now it's
Still not the main reason for the Niflheim
There it
Valkyrie.
is.
There, right? Yeah, there it is.
stabby stabs. Yep.
Yeah, you do have to get to the Muspelheim Valkyrie. If it wasn't
And
for
there's
that
Realm
damn
Shift
the
from
Niflheim Valkyrie not
the
having a teleporter
talisman
or
switch. So
that
it's
stupid
before they
maze
had
in front of it,
talisman that resets
not
all
stupid,
the
you know.
runic cooldowns.
it just
And now
it
they
is
have
what
the
it
one
is.
that
But
you
if not for that, you would go for
barely
Muspelheim
just in time
first,
you get the little
for
Realm
sure.
Shift slowdown
100%.
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
there.
You would get
Small
the
little Easter
R2,
egg, but
and then you would
can
just
tell
go
that the
straight
shield
with Realm
has
Shift.
has a kind of like Spartan symbol on it that
Yeah.
represents that this
Realm
player has
Shift
played
probably
the
is
game like
faster.
even
I think it
God of War
actually
before, so,
is faster to just use it.
You
But
know, they can show
again,
off
this was
little
a very early on run, so
yeah, I guess the realm shift isn't worth it until you get this Blade's delay because he was just spamming runics before that, huh?
I don't know. I think it is actually
Yeah,
worth
it
it.
might be.
But
I feel like
there's
I
another
would still
question
stick
coming
to
up here
Realm
real
Shift,
quick
personally, when I run
that I
through this,
also
just
wanted to
feel
cover.
like it's, if you're on your game, it's hard to compete. It's for stuff like this, right? Like being able to punish some of those kind of Valkyrie moves. One thing this player isn't doing
This,
that's
right.
interesting is that when you do avoid the stomps and realm shift occurs, you'll see people pick the use the axe and use the executioner's cleave because it will actually interrupt the Valkyrie and knock them out of that. But here the player's just choosing to use the
Does
delay.
that
RC
Blades
for maximum
multi-stab?
DPS.
Does the Blades multi-stab not do that? The last
Okay, so the Blades multi-stab, it can knock them out of it. Again, it all depends on what phase the Valkyrie is in. If they're at the end of their phase and their eyes are glowing, it doesn't matter if you're using Executioner's Cleave or the Blades R2, nothing's going to actually interrupt them if you don't want them interrupted. So the Blades R2 is just more damage. It also plants a bomb on it that I believe has 3-second delay. So the choice between the two, either way, you're not really going to stagger. So you just take the damage. It's a speed run, so you're going to take damage every time. All right, now we get the part where, well, it just makes me laugh because they're talking about the names again. So we only listen to it. There might have been a question in there. I'm not sure.
Yes, is the one. It's time for Jumpy
Alright, so-
though.
Jumpy's next.
So Jumpy
So which one
likes
do
to
we think
do
Jumpy
like
is?
Jumpy is the
This
swoops,
is-
right?
yeah, this is the triple swoops and the triple stomp, which on
Is
New
this,
Game Plus
Elrond,
runs a
I
lot
think.
more mix-ups. This is what's her name?
Rhoda, I
right?
think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you
Yep,
interrupt
Jumpy is Rhoda.
the swoops with a runic or anything?
You can't interrupt this.
You can't interrupt them.
Yeah, I feel like
I
for a
don't in this
speedrunner,
run
it might be
because
worth
it was just
interrupting rather than having
risky.
to sit through the triple swoops, but we'll see.
You can do it with Hell's Touch. You can do it with Hyperion Grapple
I mean,
as well.
on Speedy,
But when you're running really fast,
they
it's
destroyed maybe half Speedy's health.
yeah, it's just
before
one of those
Speedy
things
was
where
able to do
you either
anything,
A,
so
don't think
let's
about
see
it,
if Jumpy's
or
able to
B,
fare
you don't want to
better
risk
here.
it, especially with Grapple
Which
because
Valkyries
you
have
got
the
to aim
most
that
health?
if you miss. Bleh.
Besides Speedrun.
Tanky has the most health, as can be seen by Tanky.
I think Muspelheim
I
has
love these
the
names.
most health,
These names are great. We should have just
And then,
called it these names.
like as
And
health
then I'd
goes,
say
but
Bernie is probably the next highest.
Air,
I guess
aka Tanky.
technically Bernie has more health than Tanky, just because Bernie is a higher power level than Tanky, because Bernie and Smelly
Tanky just
were
blocks a lot.
designed for Muspelheim and Niflheim, which are the end game encounters. The other ones are kind of like meant to be done in whatever order. But yeah, so it'd be like the tier list of tankiness is Queen Ass Hat, followed by Bernie, followed
Yes.
by Tanky.
Queen ass
Man,
hat.
these are
There you have
the
it.
true Norse names. This is
Yes,
in
they
the
are.
lore. If you look up the poetic
They
Edda,
absolutely
these are
are.
the names that you'll find.
Elder Futhark. They started with
All right, let's
Speedy,
see what you
Bernie,
got.
Jumpy.
I love the design
Tanky.
of Stalker, like the helmet, the antlers.
For sure.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Shout out
Each
to
of-
the SMS art team.
Yeah, all of the Valkyries have different helmets, different designs on the wings.
Yeah, the helmets that just happen to fit inside that bag. It's a big bag.
Okay.
So here's another question that they're talking about. Doesn't pertain to the actual speedrun, but I think I can answer this question. So might as well listen to it, and I'll do my best. Don't kill me if I'm wrong.
Most
tell
of the
us
time,
about-
you can kind
tell
of
us
feel
about
the
the
stuff
lore.
coming. Yeah.
Tell us about the lore of the Valkyries.
The lore of the Valkyries.
Yeah, what's their backstory? You know, what are they all about?
The lore of the
Oh
Valkyries.
man, I'm probably not the best person to speak on this. No,
thought
they're
you
like
were more-
corrupted, right? No, you're going around. You're freeing. You're saving them from corruption, right? You're helping. That's the whole setup. Is that they're thanking you. Which I think
Yeah.
for players,
Yes,
the first time
they are
saw it, they're
thanking
like,
you.
wait, what?
So okay, this is what I know of the Valkyries. Basically, the Valkyries they work for Odin. They're servants of Odin, and their job is to basically take warriors that are killed in battle. They bring them to Valhalla, where they do the whole, as Brock would say, fucking and fighting all day. They do that until Ragnarok comes. If a warrior decides that they don't want to go to Valhalla and they want to fight the Valkyrie, they fight the Valkyrie, they get burned, they die, and then they become Draugr. And that's where the Draugr come from. So in God of War, the Valkyries in there have a spell cast on them, or a curse that was cast on them by Odin. Basically because he didn't like Freya, and he put a curse on Freya that she couldn't fight. So in doing that, Freya lost her position as the queen, and that's where Sigrun comes in. Sigrun basically took the place of Freya to become the queen of the Valkyries. That's why she says it's never enough for the Allfather, stuff like that. But what happens is the curse makes the Valkyries stay in physical form, and Valkyries are not meant to be in physical form. Physical form is horrible for them, and basically it makes them go insane. They go insane, they start fucking shit up, and yeah, that's a bad thing. So Sigrun decided to lock them in these chambers to basically make sure that they didn't ruin the world, go nuts, and kill everything. So what you're doing is you're going around, you're fighting them, releasing their physical form, breaking their physical form actually, and releasing them into their spirit form, where they can basically go back to Valhalla, not become insane, and not mess up the entire world. So that's my understanding as things go. Hopefully that's correct. Some people out there that really love lore might jump on my ass about it, but I think that's what it is. And that's why they say thank you, and they're so happy that you freed them and released them from their physical form. Now they can go back to Valhalla and do what they're supposed to do. So yeah, that's what I know of it. Hopefully that's right. Yeah, don't come at me, please. If I'm wrong, put it in the comments. I'd love to hear different opinions, or if I'm wrong anywhere, please let me know. I'd love to know. So here's a little funny bit that they talk about. The whole point of Katie is Katy Perry, because she's basically the first one that you fight, and a lot of her moves, well, pretty much all of her moves are parryable. So that's why she was named Katie for Katy Perry. And they didn't make the connection, but they did say this
In this fight is that she has that swipe down attack that's block break, the yellow flash.
The side
And
drop,
what
yeah.
we're trying to teach players, to parry it, but you'll notice that when
Yes.
players actually take this talisman with the realm shift, the right option is always evade at the last second. That's one.
it is. But yes, it does teach you how to parry, for sure. Hence the name. On to the next one.
Too is great.
So here's the next one I was talking about
One
earlier.
thing everyone
the
always
bag.
loved is like
Oh, loud.
Kratos grabs the mask. It's like, where does he place it?
That was my
shoves
question.
all his loot into the bag that's holding his wife's ashes. That's actually not a joke.
Rude.
That's actually what he does.
There it is.
Rude. He's already got her head in there. Why are you going to shove 8 more in there?
That's a little disturbing, to be honest.
It is. I agree.
Wait, hold on. I just realized Kara does not have a nickname. It's just Kara.
And Kara,
it's
Kara does not have a
like
nickname.
Summony or like some like what is it? It's like
Yeah.
Trendy.
she's the one that summons a bunch of Draugr. Right?
It was going to be
Yeah,
Gangsta.
yeah.
I don't know why I didn't
this
do
one
it.
has an exploit though. I wonder if he does the exploit.
Oh yeah.
With the
I don't do the exploit.
we tried it. I can't remember if we fixed this on New Game Plus or not, but like
too
this was something
inconsistent.
that bothered us. We wanted to fix it. We couldn't get around to it, but it has to do
Yeah.
with triggering
Either way, on to the next.
R3 stun grab.
Okay, here's just another quick point that they're about to make, that it's a good point to make because not a lot of people understand or realize the difference between any other level, give me a challenge and below, and give me God of War, and what happens with the Draugrs if you do hit them. So this is the big reason that why you avoid the Draugrs, for one, but 2, you're just going for the Valkyrie. So we'll listen to it real quick.
Flips into her. It calls out the model.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing that's kind of interesting is just ignoring the Draugr here super fast because on Gimme God of War, if you damage enemies, they drop, I think, beneath 80 health. They turn elite, and then they're much more, basically much more scary. They come after you, they armor attacks and everything like that. And so this fight, I think, on Gimme God of War, you're kind of, most players are going to struggle managing the Draugrs that are summoned, and because you don't want to leave them at a little bit of health. They are going to come back and be really powerful. But this player's just so fast that didn't have to care. Just focus straight on the Valkyrie, ignore the Draugr, didn't get hit.
All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about, they're going to talk about, actually, we will cover real quick. That's rage use. So we'll hear what they have to say. Yeah, I believe I agree with them. Hold on.
I've been surprised. Generally, like pretty conservative rage usage.
This is probably because Rage probably
They got
deals
hit right
with
there.
less damage.
Oh,
Oh,
Ooh.
It is. Rage doesn't do quite as
they
much.
like did a blade toss against the scythe drop, and it did not pan out. Maybe they thought they had axe out. I don't know.
No, I thought that was going to be the hammer twirl.
but yeah, for Rage me here, I'm pretty sure
I got a little excited.
Valkyries have a lot of
Premature.
resist Rage, so I think it's probably a DPS loss.
Yeah, Rage doesn't do a whole lot.
Not
2
so much for the
Valkyries.
damage, more
It's just
entering and exit.
Oh, you mean for the intra? Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah, he did it
Much
once
better
just
for
right at the
interrupt.
beginning.
Yep.
and it's good for stun.
By the way, you see
It
that
is good for
confident
stun at the
walk back
end
earlier?
because the
Just to
Valkyries
get out of the range
they do
of
get
the mace slam?
they
That
do get a
was-
lot
that
of
was pretty
stun
cool.
resist at the
Didn't
end when their
evade,
eyes are
wasn't
glowing like they
scared,
are now.
just confidently walk back.
So it helps break down that stun barrier.
That was a great little evade,
You
right?
saw that
You just
evade
did.
into the wall? Yeah.
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 Yeah, this is my favorite Valkyrie to fight. I love air.
Yeah, I like to
So-
make sure all my fights are perfectly polished.
One thing I probably should have pointed out too is the part of the reason for the DPS on the delay R2 for the blades is that you leave
This is fun to hear
I think
though
there's
too,
an upgrade
because this
for it
is
or
true.
something, where you leave a little bomb.
It's
on
a
the
certain
enemy
amount of
that
runic. If you have a
explodes
certain
after
amount of
a
runic,
brief
it
delay.
does.
So that
it does
adds
have a
to the
bomb.
total damage. So yeah, really just probably overtuned to be honest. Because
They
that
are.
move, it was funny. For the longest time, everyone kept saying that move was terrible. And,
They
and, like,
did.
why would you ever do this? Like, why would you ever delay? Everyone complained about it internally. And so, we're looking at the tuning. We're like, okay, well, let's give you a reason to use it. And then sure enough,
And they
everyone
did.
discovers that like it's the strongest move.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It's how that always happens, by the way. It's always because
All right, so here I think they're talking about doing the turnaround for the blind move, and I'll explain something real quick after they talk about it.
Is my favorite besides Speedrun. I just really
Blinding.
like the in-air blind, then you turn around, and then right here, and then you have to turn back, and she might already be swooping at you or throwing a shock chrome.
Yeah, that actually happens on New Game Plus. So on New Game
Yeah.
Plus, after she does that blind, she goes into another attack a lot faster to force you to turn around much quicker.
She does.
yeah, one thing you'll see a player doing is that they don't actually do the quick turn to turn around. They just look at the ground,
Yes, and you can do that.
which
Yeah.
you totally can do.
It seems a lot better. than what I was doing, which is the quick turn.
Okay, now little explanation on that though. You can do that, but to do that and to do it quick enough, you need to have your vertical look sensitivity quite high. Because if it's not, and you don't get your head all the way down, you will still get hit by the blind. So if you're looking for consistency, and you use like normal settings, 5, 6, somewhere around there, usually about 8 or above, that's kind of where you want to be to look at the ground. You can still do it, but you have to, it takes more time to pan down if your vertical sensitivity is not high enough. So just be aware of that if that's something you're trying to do and going, well, it doesn't work. So I've had people ask that before. I've tried to look at the ground, it doesn't work. That's usually why. Vertical sensitivity. Okay, so here's a funny little bit, because there actually is something to this, but there we go.
You know what it is? You have to place the helmets down on all 9.
There you go. What's the speedrun tactic for placing the helmet?
That's a good question.
There actually is
I wanna
a
see the
process for
optimal
placing
line,
helmets.
which part of the circle do you start
And there
on?
is.
That's true, actually.
As funny as that is, there actually is.
It's a traveling
You want to start on the
salesman
edge of
problem,
one of the
thing.
large gaps. There's 2 large gaps on one of the sides. If you start in the middle, you have to go over both large gaps. So you want to start at the edge of one, so you end at the edge of one, so you're not going over
this is
2
the point
large
that,
gaps.
you know, on
That may
YouTube,
sound weird,
you'll see
but
so many people try to
it's like
work
a
on the
tenth
slide
of a
and
second
optimize it,
time
and
save,
eventually
probably.
it gets insane, especially
Good.
with New Game
Yeah.
Plus. To how
Just funny to hear them
quickly
say
people
that,
can
because
work
there is a
through it.
thing.
But it was
Okay, here we go. This is placing the helmets percent.
yeah, Twitch was open a lot for me with the PC release. That Draugr pit, just watching people die in the
God, that Draugr
pit
pit.
again and again brought back memories.
It's a lot of memories in that thing.
God of War, watching people struggle on that.
It's always the hardest part of the game.
Love it.
Maybe
Look at
struggle
this.
a little bit.
They're positioning themselves to be as close to the chair as possible.
I got
so
away
they
from me.
interact
Yeah,
with
notice the
man.
large gap to his
touchdown.
left. You always go right.
There we go. There we go. Nice. That was very well executed. Now, I noticed they're not even doing the agile strike span between the chairs. Maybe like the
No
distance.
time for
maybe-
that.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
the
reason for
distance has
that.
to be too precise.
The first like 3 or 4 steps of Kratos is actually fast running. Then he
Love
slows
that
down.
camera move. Just
Ooh,
The
that
slide,
was-
the
you saw
slow
that?
camera.
That was a quick move. Quick turn.
That's right. Here comes the big gap. Ooh.
I love how sudden it is. How Kratos just like puts the helmet down.
Be
in
surprised
slow
at
motion
how much time you
and
put into placing
Ooh.
helmets.
right there.
Sounds kind of stupid, but it's a thing. It's definitely a thing.
We'll get to it in a second, but the spawn of this Valkyrie is one of the coolest things in the game, in my opinion.
It is, unless you're trying to do like
Yeah, it's
challenges and you have to
Especially
see
when you're
it
seeing it for the
over
30th time.
and over. Yes,
Have to
and
die
over
29
again.
times.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
It
that's
sets
the
this
point of the
tone.
helmets.
It's like, you
No,
know,
I
you know what you
genuinely
signed
like
up
it too.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is true Denny, by the way. This is like Denny's personality. All just this spawn captures it.
Oh yeah, this spawn used to do damage until Mihir.
This was actually a horrible Speedrun fight.
Yeah, that's cool. You start the fight with, after
Was
your
not
life
good.
taken out.
But it was early on.
It's all this
I think this was
little
actually the first
summons.
time that I used this build.
Uses rage enter there to interrupt that instead
Yep.
of an axe throw. Maybe because they had the blades out, or maybe just because some other reason.
Yeah, you could interrupt it with the blades too. I guess maybe.
It was
the-
very,
Oh, yeah,
very
yeah.
passive in this fight.
All right, here we go. Wing stab to layer 2. Ooh, got hit with the wing stab out of it.
Yeah, the wing stab opener. Yeah, I think
Yep.
doesn't
So
really.
normally you would double tap L1 to do the shield bash to open them up,
Yeah.
but certain moves have the property to open up enemy blocks, like delay R2. So you're seeing smart use of that. One thing about this fight as well is just the arena is very different than the other.
Yeah. See how
arenas
fast you have to
that
look
there's
down
little
there?
Nooks and
That goes
crannies,
back to it.
Even though it's like right there, you can still tell.
You gotta look down
that
fast.
she's doing, evade L green right, which is going to go to the wing
Right.
stab. But there's a lot of times where you can kind of get stuck in ways that make it a little tricky. But it's a cool arena, I still think.
It's a very cool arena. It's even cooler if you can
Oh, wow.
Yep, there it is.
basically have
That's
you can have
environment for
Jormungandr's
me.
head over top of it and it shades the arena. It's even more fun like that. You just have to get to the fight when he's
So
positioned
Rob,
there.
how long did it take you to kill Sigrun in your New Game Plus playthrough? What was your speedrun record?
My New Game Plus run, it was like 4 minutes 50 seconds to beat her.
4 minutes, okay.
Or maybe a little less.
It's not
4
too
and a half
bad.
minutes. I had 2 pieces of Zeus armor on though.
I think
You
NG
got a
plus
ways
with
to go,
Zeus armor.
Rob. You
I
got
think
a
the
ways to
fastest I've
go.
done it was like 31
The
seconds.
first New Game Plus run,
Something like
you
that.
get the Zeus armor chest.
I know there's faster ones out there, but that was the fastest I've done it, I think.
I had the Zeus armor limbs on. I did all strength and cooldown. Yeah, that was.
Ooh,
sick.
I like that right there.
Yeah. Yeah, see, using the parry, that creates some distance, but the delay R2 with the blades actually will move you forward a lot, so you don't actually have to evade forward. You can do the delay R2 straight out of...
Oh,
took a
Yeah,
hit.
that was a big mess up on my part.
Strat.
I didn't cancel out of the
makes her
R2.
calm down a little bit whenever you get
It's strats.
Isn't there like... Yeah, I don't know what kind of redstone that was. There's
It's
one
called
that applies
fear.
like stun to nearby enemies or something. I forget. There's like
that
3
was,
different
I think
redstones.
that was the rage redstone.
Okay.
Because the health.
It was the
yeah,
rage one. Because
Resurrect.
normally you would use your rage
But now it's really on. Now if you
a little
die,
over
there's
halfway
no
through.
way.
I should have
Right
used it there.
When the runic attack
Then if you do
used,
go down, you got your rage
reaction
back again, but-
Oh, don't tell everyone my secrets, please.
That's why you gotta be a little bit careful. You're too overzealous.
When her health
with
gets down
runics.
really, really far,
Yeah, the
that's when
Valkyries have
you
this little
want to
hidden
use the
meter
rage to kind of break her
where if you do
poise.
too many runics on them in a row, they
she stops
start
getting health.
ignoring your runic attacks. It'll still do damage, but it won't cause reaction. It's a pretty troll mechanic.
Yeah,
And
see,
the
should have
reason I
canceled
added
it
that
there.
was because we had 4 runic attacks in our game and then this cooldown stat. So I kind of was concerned that you could like do this broken build where you just kind of like cycle runics and just never
Plus
allow
the talisman that resets all their cooldowns.
Yeah, plus that
Yep.
talisman.
Also, getting
This
to
is
this
gonna
part
go,
now, but it's hard to get once you get the health low. You're like, I've gotten there, almost
Yes.
dead, and then
Trolls.
and then you get the
Kind of
secret.
Yeah, here.
The health
Shouldn't have
bar is
picked up the
kind of a
health.
lie.
Didn't even matter.
Yeah, that's what I was- talk about
the
that.
last
Should've went straight
takes
into the
on
runic.
health bar a lot more. Also, the Valkyries, the lower health they get, the more defense they get as well. So
Yeah, now we start using the
That's
rage
what I was going to refer
yeah,
to,
when you've done like
to knock
half
down
their
that
health and
poise.
damage, it's
So
like
that's
you're
why
only
they're.
like
That's why I'm doing it here.
No, but I
I believe they start talking about
a
it.
happy accident because there's actually a bug leak. This was not 100% intentional, but one thing that it does create
And
is
the arrow
level of
kill.
tension and
Way to go,
disbelief
Atreus.
at the end. That is
Way
a
to
little
go, buddy.
trolly, but it does also kind of make it feel more earned.
It's very
Where
trolly.
Once you get through it, you're like, thank God. Like,
Yeah,
definitely
that's the
a way
reason
to
for using the
You
rage
can see
at the end.
Clown's reaction right there. Put his face in his hands.
Yeah, I think he
Reading
says
sign relief.
something like, that was intense. Like, I'm pretty sure he says something like that.
I did.
No, but that was really clean.
Wasn't
That was
expecting
good.
to get down.
Definitely took a hit there.
I
Probably
did.
a bit faster if didn't die from that attack and come back. But overall, really clean, pretty smart. Smart use of the delay attacks, smart use of the runics and rage and interrupts.
I noticed at the end when he activated rage, he was doing the rage rock throws. Is that like a really good rage DPS?
Yeah, the
That's literally
the
just a
rage
break
rock throw
poise.
it does a ton of damage, but it also costs a lot of the rage bar. So what you really want to do is you want to deplete your rage bar with other moves, and then when you just have like 1 pip of rage left, you can do the rock throw. So that's kind of like
Yeah, and that normally would be the case.
But there's definitely that sense of desperation, right? You saw the wolf summon and the rage rock throw. Just
Yeah, you throw
everything.
every bit of
It's
stun that
insane.
you can at the
Just
very
looks
end of
in
it.
this fight.
Every bit of it.
And
Because they got
that's
that
something you see
trolley
a lot
ass
of
health
people
bar.
with, that desperate push to finish. And I think that makes the fight pretty memorable. So good job, Denny.
Yeah, thank you. Good job to you too.
All right, well, yeah, that was really fun to go over. Really fun to answer the questions on it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, big thank you to Mihir, Denny, and Rob for actually doing that and going over it. It was a lot of fun to listen to. Hopefully that answered some of the questions that they had and some other ones. Again, don't kill me on the Valkyrie lore. Please don't kill me on the Valkyrie lore. But yeah, that was fun to do. Thank you all again. I appreciate it. And I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.